I'm Danny, and this is the Scream Princess podcast. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Scream Princess podcast. And I'm here today with actor Alexander Butler. How are you today, Alex?
Very well, Danny. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So I've got
Good.
to say, when I message you, it is like an instantly prompt reply. You were dead on time. I could hear you, I could see you. This is very rare. Everything goes so well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to be. I think ever since a kid, I've hated to be late for things.
Me
Um,
too.
I don't. I like to, especially in our industry, I like to be there a little bit early so you can just kind of relax and take in the whole vibe and everything, and just make sure you're not rushing because if you're rushing, then it's just you
Yeah,
don't feel right, do you?
I'm the same. Being late stresses me out, and I usually arrive at places like an hour early and then
Mhm.
find where I need to be. Then I'll go and get a coffee somewhere, and then I'm not stressed. It's like finding parking or, you
Yeah.
know, like allowing for the world to try and ruin your plans, as often it does as well with you.
And it always the way, isn't it? Especially if you're
Yeah,
having to drive somewhere, the traffic gets in the way.
yeah,
And yeah, like you say, the universe just tries to put a dampener on anything. So just be early. Just be on
yeah.
time.
I remember actually going for an audition for it was to present an online casino ch for a channel, and
Hmm.
I had left loads of time to get there, and then I missed a turning. So I lived in East London at the time, and this was like
Yeah.
West London, and I'd kind of gone around the North Circular, and then I missed the turn off to come off like I don't know, like the road.
Yeah.
And then I ended up being late. I still got the job, but I ended up being late. And I was just thinking, there's no point even turning up to this audition. Like, I'm never
Yeah.
going to get this job. But they did give me the job because I explained,
Well,
and I
good.
probably looked very sorry and flustered. And it was horrible. And I always think that. I think if I was auditioning someone and they were late, I would be like, don't bother. Like, I'd be that harsh.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I like to obviously. I mean, yeah, me in that situation. I think if I'm late, I'm phoning everyone. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be late. This has happened. That's happened. But I will
Yeah.
be there. And you do, I think, naturally go into um you'll naturally go into that audition thinking, I've already blown it.
Yeah. But then actually,
But
your nerves will probably go and you probably do a really good audition. So there is that.
yeah, probably. And I think sometimes it's quite funny that I always think the auditions that I've done the worst in tend to be the jobs that I end up getting.
Hmm.
So I think sometimes maybe we're doing it wrong by being early and professional. Maybe we
Yeah.
should be late
Maybe
and
that's
rushing
it.
about and
Yeah, I mean,
and
maybe if
press
we
the
start being late, we will literally be getting all of the jobs.
yeah. I'm gonna tell you what, I'll do that from now on. I'll let you know how it goes.
No, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's wise. So we met was it last weekend? 2 weekends ago? It was
Yeah, 2 weekends ago,
yeah,
yeah.
a couple of weekends ago at CliffCon, which was a kind of Halloween themed comic convention in Newton on
Yeah.
Aycliffe, which actually for me was very nice because it was only about an hour away from me, if that. And it's really
Yeah.
rare actually to get things kind of up north like that. So it was quite a nice day for me. But where did you travel from?
I came all the way up from Birmingham.
Right, so
So
that's a bit more of a
that
trek.
was yeah, it was I came up the night before.
Hmm.
Um but the traffic on that Friday was terrible. So I
Right.
broke the journey up. I stopped halfway. I have a friend that lives in Rotherham and I hadn't seen him for a couple of years, so I popped in to see him very, very briefly and say hello. And then continued on in the evening. But
Hmm.
again, just as we said, being early, made sure, we got the information that we weren't starting till what, 10:30-ish.
Yes,
But
we had to be there at
uh,
9:30, I think, was it?
yeah, but I was there just after 9, walking around,
I was
checking
actually
in.
late. I live the closest, I think, and we stopped to get a Starbucks, and then we
Yeah.
stopped at Greg's because Starbucks no longer do the breakfast thing that I used to like. So
Oh,
we ended
okay.
up going to Greg's. So like those two stops made us only 5 minutes late, and it obviously wasn't open until 10:30, and I was there at like
Sure,
I don't know 25 to 10. So it wasn't fun.
sure. I was that annoying person that's just watching everyone unload all their stuff
Yeah.
onto their tables and going through things and go, oh, that's good. I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah, it's kind of
But
nice to be early because you do get to walk around and actually see the stores. Although once you're sat
mm,
at your table, you don't really get to kind of go off and do much
no, no,
shopping.
not until obviously maybe the end of the day, but
Yeah.
then people are packing up by then, and
Saying
you
that,
can
I
kind of
felt like the day went really quickly.
it did, didn't
I
it?
feel like we
It
got
did.
there, sat down, like I don't know. Then by the time it was kind of lunchtime, we went to do the like I went to do the Scream Queens panel. I think you did
Hmm.
a panel as well. So we went and did that. Then it was lunch. Then came back, and I feel like I was only there for maybe another hour, and then it was like home time. It was I don't know. The day just
Yeah.
flew.
Yeah, it was so quick, but I think it's because there was so much going on. It
Mm,
kind of I noticed that time tends to go by quicker when you're busy.
yeah,
So with everything that was going on with uh, checking out everyone's costumes and
yeah,
meeting people and obviously the panels and everything, yeah, it just went so quick. And I know you're right. Um, but I enjoyed it though. It was great
yeah.
fun. It was my first one that I've ever done,
I
so
was
I
going to
wasn't too
ask if you'd
sure.
done many, so that was your first one.
That was my first
It's
ever
kind
one,
of a
yeah.
nice one to
So
break yourself into because that was kind of like a smaller scale. And although
yeah,
it was like it was steady, there was kind of a steady flow of people, but you weren't overwhelmed at any one time. Like sometimes there's
no,
so many people, but I mean, it was really cool to see like there was a Dalek going around, and I love all the people that actually really make the effort. And what I love is like when the people that come to these conventions don't buy their costumes kind of off the peg. Like a lot of them, they have
no,
like they've made them which I
yeah.
love to see. I think my favorite was the kid that was dressed as I don't know if he was Brahms or if he was the boy from like the ventriloquist dummy from Goosebumps. But
Yeah,
like
from
kids are
Goosebumps, yeah.
creepy and when like kids in horror are creepy, and ventriloquist dummies are creepy. So you've got like a child dressed as that. I found
I
him
know, I know.
creepy.
I thought he was incredible. I asked his mom for permission because I needed a photo with him. I thought
Yeah,
I have to show my little one, this kid. And what I loved as well, I think we spoke about it on the day, was I just loved how that next generation was so into it as well.
yeah,
There were so many kids there that were embracing horror and
yeah.
dressing up as their favorite characters. And
I know.
I,
And
I
it's
remember,
films that I wouldn't have been allowed to see at their age. I mean, my
no,
parents weren't into horror, and obviously back then, when I was young, you had kind of one TV in the house, So, and my parents weren't hiring horror from the video store or anything, so I didn't really
no,
get into horror until I was a teen. Like, maybe I watched creepy cartoons or whatever, but nothing like
yeah,
really, horrific. But there's kids in there about 7 or 8, and they knew who Art the Clown was, or one. I think one was dressed as Art the Clown. And then there's the
yeah,
other kids that came to my table. I always find this really weird because I think my fan base is not young kids. And these
yeah.
two kids, the parents, I don't know where they were, but our kids kind of tend to be drawn to me. And then I was just thinking, well, this is awkward. I don't know what to chat to you about. And they were talking to me, and we had those bugs. We had these like plastic bugs on the table. So I was letting them play with the bugs. And
Yeah.
then one of the parents came over, and then the kid was like, I want her autograph. And I was like, this is so weird. It's so weird because you'll never have seen any of my films, and yeah, it was very odd. But
No,
that kid
but you
was
never know I was going to say you never know in the future though. They'll go away thinking about, oh yeah,
that's
I met
true.
her.
No, that is
And then
true.
when they get a bit older and they look you up and they'll start watching your films then
Yeah, by which
and
time I'll be a doddery old lady by then. But
you'll still be going. Don't worry about that.
no, that kid actually did know who because Art the Clown was there as well, and he came over, and
Hmm.
obviously they know he's not Santa, and he
Yeah.
knew not that he was just this Santa clown type guy. He was like, "Oh, Art the Clown," and I'm like, "Why do you know that?"
How
It's
do you know?
so
I
so
know. I
odd.
think it's because it's everywhere these days. Like you mentioned
Mm.
about the going to the video shop. We never got anything like that. I think our introduction to horror was maybe sneaking downstairs and sticking on that telly when everyone was asleep or hoping that one of your friends' parents had videos
Yeah.
of some classic somewhere.
I think the only thing I
And
watched young was Jaws and Arachnophobia. So
yeah,
like films that were kind of they were sort of horror, but also sort of mainstream. And then if they were on
yeah,
TV, my dad would watch them. So I'd seen things like that, and I caught it.
yeah.
the It miniseries when I was 8, which was maybe a bit young for that one. And then I think between then and, a teen, like until it was like the 90s slashers, I kind of had a massive gap.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember seeing when my parents first got Sky,
Mm,
I remember seeing the advert because they were showing the It series.
mm,
And I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, I won't mind a bit of that. I won't mind a little watch of that. And
yeah.
it was never allowed, obviously. But I think the my first introduction to horror actually, and it gave me a bit of a phobia for werewolves at the time as a kid. But my parents bought me a VHS for my birthday because I'm like a 28th of October is my birthday, so I'm like a Halloween
You're a
kind of baby.
Halloween baby.
I am indeed, yeah. So all my birthday parties growing up were just Halloween fancy dress parties.
That's
But one
amazing.
birthday,
I'd love to be in October. I'm a summer baby, so I didn't get that.
no, we can change it, can't we? We just move it around. Be
Yeah.
like the Queen, have two a
Have
year.
to, yeah.
Yeah, why not? But they bought me the making of Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller,
Uh,
which had like the full length version of the
mm,
music video. And obviously they knew I was a fan at the time. I had the vinyl
mhm,
on the record player. But then watching this transformation that they went through, there was the bright yellow contact lenses.
mm,
And the cheeks started sinking in, and the fangs were coming through. And
mm.
as a 7 or 8 year old, gone, panicked, scared.
Yeah.
But I loved it, and I thought this is something that I'm going to end up watching quite a lot.
How many
Um,
times do you think you watched it?
I think it took a while to put it back on afterwards, but then once it was back on, it was on quite constantly because I think horror then kind of took over.
Mm. So you've always loved horror.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, lots. I mean, as a kid, lots of things scare you, and that's the beauty of us as humans. Really, you always have a fear of something, but things like my dad was
Oh, you've crashed on me. Let me do a refresh. 1 second. Hmm. Screen.
me as well, so it
Ah,
was
there you go.
just
You
that
just
kind of.
crashed on
I'm
me for a
back.
moment there.
Oh,
Did
did
I
I?
did
Oh
I
no.
crash? You're back now.
Mine said, yeah, no, I'm full. Yeah, I'm all good. I'm
Oh,
all
okay.
good. I'll start again.
I got up until you said my dad, and then I was like, oh no. And then there's just me flapping around not knowing what to do.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, my dad he was a big sci-fi geek, so he used to watch obviously Star Trek and everything, but he used to watch Doctor Who as well.
Uh,
And Doctor Who, there was an episode they were in a circus, they were in a big top, and like the ringmaster was busy whipping everyone, and every time he whipped them, they'd disappear. And I remember once he whipped someone, their glasses kind of fell onto the floor and there was blood everywhere, and that kind of still trickled into that kind of horror vibe for me. So I was kind of looking for ways in which to be scared without
mm,
before I was even allowed to kind of put
yeah.
horror on.
I think I need to start watching the old Doctor Who's because I didn't watch it when I was a kid, and I tried to watch, when they brought it back after kind of many
Hmm.
years, and I think it was like the Billy
Yeah,
Piper ones, and I couldn't get into it. But everybody's saying to
yeah,
me I need to watch the older ones because I love the idea of time travel and I love like kind of horror
yeah.
and I love fantasy. So I feel like those things combined, I should be a Whovian, but I just haven't given
Yeah.
it a chance.
I think those sorts of programs in that era were quite dark anyway,
Mm.
and so they're a little bit tame, but in today's ones, I mean, are quite tame in their
Yeah, that's what
storylines.
I
They're
thought. I
not
thought it was kind
really.
of the humor was kind of silly in the ones that I watched, and I was like,
Yeah,
because I'm not a massive
yeah,
comedy lover. I know that sounds weird because I do obviously like laughing. Like I am, I
yeah.
like fun, but I don't like
Mhm.
forced. laughed. I don't like watching a comedy
Mm,
and it's like you're trying to force me to laugh. Like I like things that are just naturally funny. If does that
yeah,
make sense?
yeah,
So I think when
yeah.
it's
No, I
like
get that.
silly comedy, I'm like, no.
Yeah, it all depends. I mean, I'm a huge fan of like the original Naked Guns, for
Mm.
example, because
I didn't see the
I'm
new
a,
one, even though I love Pamela Anderson. I still haven't seen the new
I
one.
yeah, no, I've watched it. I've
Kyle
watched
watched
it.
it without me, and he said it was rubbish, so I haven't bothered.
Yeah, it had its moment, but I think they missed the mark really.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which is a
especially with
shame because I think when
yeah,
when you've left something that long, it's either leave it
yeah,
alone or do it really well.
yeah, absolutely. But I think the biggest difference is obviously Leslie Nielsen,
Mm,
um, who plays, the original Frank
hmm
Drebin, was so deadpan in his approach. It was genius.
Yeah.
But then Liam Neeson obviously is playing his son.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's just something missing.
Mm,
There were still some funny moments, don't get me wrong, but it was, yeah, I don't think I'll be rushing
not
to watch it
no,
again.
not
No,
quite there. So how did
no.
you get into acting in the first place?
Oh, God, it kind of, I fell into it really. So my previous career, believe it or not, I was a massage therapist.
Well, I actually
And
looked on your spotlight, and you know when it lists all your skills. And when I do
yeah,
mine, I always think, God, I haven't got any skills. I don't do anything. And but we have one in common, and it was holistic therapist. But obviously, you're a
yeah,
massage, and I do other holistic therapy. So
yeah. I did that straight from college really, but I
right.
worked in professional football for 20 years.
Ah, who do you support?
So
I've never
well,
asked somebody who they support on here before because usually
there
horror
you
fans are
go.
not into football.
First time for everything. Well, I grew up a West Brom fan.
Okay.
But I worked for other clubs during my career as a massage therapist, and
Mm,
it was something that I fell into just because, despite me being a big lump now, I used to run around a bit. I used to play a little bit of football, but I was never going to be good enough, so I was looking for ways in which to stay into it.
hmm
And that was kind of a niche job at the time. There wasn't
Yeah.
really anyone around, and that was kind of in 2002, 2001, 2002. And so I did that for 20 years, and then obviously the end of the world happened with COVID, and I was very ill with COVID. I was in hospital for a stretch,
Mm,
under the care of the intensive care unit, and it kind of opened my eyes really into how I wanted to carry on in life. Because I was always away from home and I was always traveling. I was working
mm,
ridiculous hours and I was kind of burnt out.
yeah.
Um, so I think I was kind of naturally coming towards the end of that career. And then, whether be it the universe or whatever, being so ill
Mm,
with COVID kind of gave me that chance to be at home for a stretch. And yeah, so that career came to an end, and I had, 6 weeks or so off trying to recover. Sorry, 6 months or so off trying to recover and get better again. But there was
mm,
kept being lockdowns and
hmm
things like that. And it was just through watching copious amounts of TV and films and
mm.
watching. I started watching Extras by Ricky Gervais,
I love
and
that show. And when you've worked
yeah.
on stuff and you work with extras, a lot of them very much are like that.
You realize how
There's two
true it
types. There's
is.
the ones that just think, I'm just going to go do the job, get paid, go home. Like it's just a
Yeah,
way of making money. And there's some that actually think that they are a movie star.
yeah. There's a lot of those around. Um, but I'd always wondered about it growing up, watching TV and watching films. I'd always wondered how they get those people in the background, and are they real people? Are they part
Mm.
of it? What is it? And just through sheer kind of boredom and the fact I was being moaned at to get off the sofa. I kind of found I started out as an extra. I
Mm,
started out doing SA work, so I found a way in which to register with SA agencies, and just started from there, really. I mean, it was a terrible time to start because it was still COVID times,
Yeah, there was
and
no
there was no
work, but you know.
there was no work. No,
Oh,
but
you had to
there
go and do
was
the COVID tests like daily for the week leading up to the
yeah,
new job. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I did a little bit of it like around then because I was like, well, I've got no other work, so I'm
Yeah,
going to do this.
I need to do something. And the
Yeah.
bigger productions obviously had
Yeah.
money to put,
Yeah.
procedures in place and whatever. And yeah, it was just that really. And I kind of got the bug from there, and I kept doing essay work and
I mean, it's
um
actually really good money for sometimes if you get
mm,
overtime or if you get like an early start or a late finish, it can be really good money.
yeah, overtime's great.
Mm,
We the amount of it because you get to know a lot of essays on different shows, especially if you're doing regular appearances on the same
mm,
show. But you're there, you get to know the timings, and you're like, when does overtime kick in? Oh, is it? Oh, brilliant! Let's try and drag this out, and then
mhm.
get a bit of extra pay. But
I
I
like as
was
well,
quite
whatever time you arrive, it's always breakfast. It could be an afternoon shoot, but it's also going to be
yeah
breakfast.
yeah. That's always thrown me because obviously I'm a stickler for being on time. But then when productions are calling lunch at 7 p.m., it kind of
Yeah.
throws you a little bit, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Um,
Well,
but
I live
yeah,
in the
I was
northeast now, and people call lunch tea and dinner something else, and it's all very
oh, okay.
confusing, you know.
Oh no. In well, the way we've been brought up in Birmingham, your final meal, your dinner is tea for us.
Oh, is it?
So it's
Okay, so I'm
breakfast.
breakfast,
Yeah,
lunch, and
breakfast.
dinner, and up north
Yeah,
it's like breakfast, lunch, and tea. So I don't know what dinner is up north. I don't know if they have, I don't think they have it.
I don't know. Yeah, we're more a breakfast, lunch, and tea sort of group. So yeah.
Mm,
But and no, just getting back to the SA work, I was quite lucky in the sense that I look like this really. Because as you know, I'm a bit of a big old lump, and I'm quite unique in that sense. So whenever I was doing essay work, whether it be local TV or travel somewhere for film or wherever, ADs would tend to look at me and go, he's a bit funny looking. Let's drag him up here." And then so I kind of would start, getting walk-on roles for
mm,
things and being more prominent, and then I would
yeah,
start getting featured roles, and then it'd be like, "Oh, what you like with dialogue?" And I says, "Oh, we'll give it a go, and if I'm no good, get rid of me."
yeah,
And it snowballed from there really, and um yeah, and then I just literally started to make myself a nuisance, and just applied for every job going that I could find. I learned on the job really, did loads of student films, did loads of freebie films that were
mm,
unpaid just to get used to being in scenes and having dialogue and taking direction. Yeah, so no formal training, just kind
yeah.
of
I mean, you do learn a lot by being on set and from watching, and I mean, I had formal training as an actor, but like I've
mhm,
since gone into directing and producing, and like I've only learned to direct by watching other people and working with other
yeah,
people. Like I haven't had any training
yeah,
on like the kind of technical stuff. So, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, I mean, the only reason I trained is I think is because I came from a modeling background and I didn't want to be
uh,
another one of those model turned actresses who just thought she could and people wouldn't
yeah,
take it seriously. I wanted people to be like, well, actually, she has, gone and
yeah.
done the work.
Yeah,
Which is
she's
another place I
locally
got
trained.
my fear of being late because I remember one of my friends, I lived really near my drama school in East London. I went to a drama
Hmm.
school that was at Three Mills film studios called International School of Screen Acting, and I lived a 15-minute walk down the road. But my friend used to pick me up on her way through, and this one day it actually snowed. She'd driven from Essex, so the fact that she even came anyway, on a snow day was big. We were maybe 30 seconds late, and one of my teachers was like, late, 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 late. And he went on for about a good 10 minutes, and we were just like, I don't know whether to laugh or cry at this point. Like, we've never been late, or we've been late for, 30 seconds once when it's snowing, like you could understand.
Yeah,
But his point was made, and he was like, if you turn up late to jobs, you're not going to get booked, which is, it's correct.
yeah,
So that's another
yeah,
reason.
absolutely, absolutely. Because like we said earlier, I hate the idea of being late. I hate the
Mm,
idea of letting people down.
Yeah, because if
because
anyone's been late for you, you don't like being kept waiting, right? Like I'm
no,
really
God, no, not at
impatient.
all. Not
I
at all.
mean,
But you have to remember, especially on productions, that or yeah, say if we have a call time at 9 a.m.,
yeah, time is
the
money.
crew time is money, but the crew have been there for 2 hours beforehand setting up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you're
I had
keeping
somebody on the
them.
film once that she'd been out the night before, and I knew this because it was a bank holiday, and there were pictures of her in the Daily Mail that she'd been out partying, and then she came
Right.
in, obviously hungover, but she was trying to tell me she was ill, and I was like, I don't care. And she's like, well, I can come and do it another day. And I was like, but then I've got to pay everybody else that's here to come on another day
Yeah.
and try and fit it around people's schedules. I was like, you're going to have to do this scene. And I managed to write her out of the afternoon scenes. But I
Oh.
made her do the morning where she's like, you're really harsh when you're a producer. And I was
Mm.
like, well, this is life. So,
It is, and yeah, you live and die by the way people treat you. For if you um, but the great thing about that situation is that I don't know if you've worked with them again, but you kind of wheedle these people out over time because
yeah,
if you let them get away with letting you down once, they're always going to do it.
yeah, of course. And I think
But
that's the thing,
you have
especially in
to,
the independent film industry. In like independent horror, a lot of people know each other, and
yeah,
you're always going to get work through word of mouth. Your reputation's
yeah,
going to, be talked about. So I think the
yeah,
people that,
absolutely.
aren't going to work again if they're a problem. How
No,
do you
yeah,
feel
and
actually about I think so in the States, I mean, if you watch, I don't know, I always use Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a
yeah,
example, the Buffy movie. So Ben
mm,
Affleck's an extra, and all he does is like bounce a basketball across the court, and he plays like a basketball player. Megan Fox was an
yeah,
extra. So I think in America, if they're wanting to break into the film industry, there's nothing wrong with, doing essay work, being an extra, because you're getting
yeah,
paid and you're in the industry and you're watching and you're learning. Whereas I feel
yeah,
like the people can be a bit snobby in the British film industry, not necessarily the independent film, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
think they were always like, well, if you're working as an essay, people wouldn't see you as, potential for cast. But I mean, really, the director's probably not going to remember the essays anyway. And what would they rather you do? Earn money working in a cafe where you're not learning anything about being on set?
yeah.
Like, it makes no sense. I think it's
No,
weird.
yeah, I totally agree with you. I think there is it's very snobbish, but it's very sort of close-minded of people
Mm.
because there's so many. I hate to use the term real actors and actresses, but when I am doing essay work and I'm speaking to other essays, they are actually trained actors and actresses there,
Yeah.
but it's their only way at the moment of being
Mm.
on set.
Hmm.
But it's their way of being able to be creative.
But it also
Because
leaves you free to be able to, like, you've got the freedom to, if you have an audition or if you have this and the other, if you had to
yeah,
take a proper job, you can't just take the time off for
oh
acting
God,
work.
no,
So actually,
yeah,
it makes sense for people. I mean, I know a few people that do it. I mean, I don't anymore. I live in the Northeast, so it's not so much up here, but yeah, I mean, after COVID, when like the independent industry hadn't kind of taken off again yet, that
yeah,
was, it was just a way of getting on set and earning some money.
yeah, it was absolutely, absolutely. But um,
It's funny though when people
it,
see me pop up in stuff though, and they're like, "Were you in this?" And I'm like, "I don't know," because I would never have paid attention to what I was in. And
yeah,
they'll
I
spot
get
you
that
in
all the
something.
times.
They'll
Oh,
spot me in something
yeah,
that's not horror, and then you'll know I was
yeah,
doing essay work.
yeah. I'm the same. I've just seen you in such and such, and I'm like, I don't remember doing that, but
Well,
okay,
Kyle was saying to me, I saw you. I couldn't tell you what it was. It was a thing with one of the guys from Men Behaving Badly, Neil Morrissey. He was in it, and there was somebody from the In-Betweeners. And my boyfriend's
yeah.
like, what was he like when he was on set? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I haven't worked with him. He's like, you have, because you're right next to him in this scene. I'm like, I don't think I am. And then he had to show me the thing I'm in. I'm like, oh yeah, no, it was fine. I just didn't know who you were talking about. But
Yeah, do you know what? That I don't know what the show's called, but that rings a bell. I think I've actually done a day on that.
it was a really good day that I did, and it was in this old Tudor pub somewhere in like, I don't know, it was West London or something, and it was this really old pub building that we were in that day, and it was just a really easy day on set.
You know
Maybe
what?
you did. It was a few, I mean, it was a good few years ago now.
Do you know what? I was there that day. I did the Tudor pub as well.
Did you? So I've
So
talked
we've
to you before. I
actually,
didn't meet you the other day, then I knew you already.
so we've actually met and worked together without realizing it. There
Do
you
you have a
go.
clue what the
Yeah, it
show was
was
called then? I don't.
no idea, but we can I can Google it and find out.
I remember thinking I might be late
Yeah,
that day because I could my sat nav took me to somewhere else. Like it was like my sat nav always gets me almost to my destination, but not quite. It's like it wants to
yeah,
help me, but then it's like, but now you're going to have to do a little bit of the work
yeah. It's
yourself.
just that, yeah, it's a little bit. I've put you in the general area.
Mm,
The rest is up to you now. But yeah,
yeah,
I remember that day because I ended up meeting there's another guy there, Jace Rivers, who's done a lot of horror.
right.
And I've seen him about on like a lot of other shows and commercials and things as well. So it's
Mm,
God, it's a small old world in this
it is a
industry,
small
isn't it?
world.
So God,
It is a
there
small
you go.
world. That was
Soon as you
probably the
mention
last
Neil
job I did. That
Morrissey,
was probably the last SA job I did, to be
how
honest.
was it?
It must
Okay.
have been, yeah.
God, it was a couple of years ago now, wasn't
Yeah, it
it?
was a long time ago now.
I remember that pub because we were put in the back room. It was a big old back room. It looked like a church, didn't it? It was
Yeah, but I love historic buildings. I
yeah.
love, so I just liked being there. And I remember like the furniture in there, they had like, Tudor furniture. And I was like, that's a
Yeah,
great
and
building.
it just smelled of fire, didn't it? You know, old
Yeah,
burning
I
fire and
love
logs
just
and
being at different locations. I think once the best thing I did like that was at like was it Hatfield House, and it was like somewhere that Henry VIII used to own, and I did a job in there
yeah.
once, and it was like it was like at 4 o'clock in the morning, one of those jobs, and I was like I'm currently just having a nap on Henry VIII's like tiled floor, and it's freezing, but I don't care.
Yeah, some of the locations are amazing. I remember doing something again, I can't remember what it was for. But one of the rooms we were filming in, Queen Elizabeth the First had stayed in that room
Oh,
way back when.
amazing.
And you're just like, this, like the history is, I never would have been in this place if it wasn't for this industry.
Yeah, no, that's it.
And
I
I'm
actually did
incredibly
a
grateful for that.
I used to write some bits for a magazine called Haunted, which is like a spooky magazine. And they'd
Yeah.
sent me I grew up in Norwich, but they sent me back to Norwich, something to the tourist board to go to these haunted locations. And we stayed in, I had a room and it was the room that Queen Elizabeth I had slept in. And like the bed frame was like this Tudor, like four-poster bed frame that she slept in. But
Yeah.
she took the plague back to Norwich apparently with her entourage, so that
Oh,
bit I guess wasn't so good. Welcome back to the Scream Princess podcast. We've been joined by a cat
oh
for this second
hello.
half.
Who's that?
This is Midnight. Can you hear him?
Oh.
I don't know if you can hear him. He's got the loudest purr I have ever heard from any cat.
Wow. Hello, Midnight.
But he's also got very sharp claws, so
Yeah.
if he gets
Stay
me,
away.
he does that whole, the whole kneading thing, making biscuits, but
Yeah.
it's like pain.
He's showing love, but it hurts.
Yeah. It's a painful cuddle. Right, get off the table where the laptop is because you'll end up turning it off. His his sister's on the bed though. She's not quite so sociable. She's only interested in me when she wants to be fed, and the rest of the time
Oh yeah.
she's not.
Yeah, that's 9 out of 10 cats, that, isn't it? They just
Yeah,
go where the food is.
yeah. I think the boy ones are more affectionate. He's definitely more affectionate than
I
she
think you're
is.
right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think my parents' cats, they had a brother and a sister, and he was just all over them. He loved everyone to bits. And my
Yeah.
sister's cat, Cyril, he is again just a mama's boy. He just loves her.
Yeah. Saying that, my friend's got the other two from the litter, and he's
Mm.
got a girl and a boy as well. And his are both really nice. And actually, his girl's really affectionate. So I think
Oh,
mine is
okay.
just mine. He was like, it's the parenting. Like, no, I'm nice to mine.
Hey, yeah, that's the difference.
Yes. Yeah. Do you know what it is though? I think because I'm here most of the time, I'm at their beck and
Mm.
call. So they're very demanding. Like I think most cats get fed maybe twice a day. Mine get four meals a day, four small meals, not like four
Oh,
full-size meals, but they're just like constantly telling me they're hungry and they want something.
I'm gonna have to come round if you're getting 4 meals a day.
Yeah, 4 meals a day. It's either 4 meals a day or they've got zoomies and they're terrorizing me and they're climbing the curtains and bouncing off the walls. And in fact, she's got a thing now where she climbs on the bedroom door in the morning and then she like dive bombs the bed to make you get up and feed her in the morning.
Oh, she's not daft, is she?
No, I think she's thinks she's like, what they say, the Australian drop bears. I think she's
Yeah.
harnessing her inner drop bear in the morning. So tell me how you got the role in Piglet. So there's been this whole kind of like Poohniverse thing. I know Piglet's not, it's not
Oh.
part of that Poohniverse, but it
Hmm.
is a film called Piglet.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of came out of the blue, really. I mean, obviously it's by the same production company and the same distribution company
Okay.
as the Poohniverse
Hmm.
and Winnie and everything. So there is that similarity there. Um, but I hadn't seen any you know audition shouts for it or anything like that.
Hmm.
I just got an email. I was in the unfortunate position of having to actually have a real job for a little period
Mm.
12 months ago, just because everything had gone quiet and
Yeah.
you got to pay bills.
Hmm.
And I was just working and I got an email and it literally just said, "Are you free next week for the next 10 days to play Piglet?" And it was a no-brainer. I thought, yeah, of course. I
Hmm.
mean, like Piglet is so iconic as a character, both
Yeah.
pre and post horror, that I thought
Yeah.
any opportunity to play a great big hulking killer in a pig mask would
Hmm.
be fantastic. So it was just like, yeah, no problem, straight in.
Yeah. Do you prefer playing a villain? I prefer playing a villain. I think it's more fun, but
Yeah, yeah, it is more fun, but I noticed that everyone remembers a villain
mm,
more than the hero or the good guys or those that get killed off. Everyone remembers the villain, and even in films like James Bond, you always remember the bad guy.
yeah.
So having and not ever having really that opportunity to play a character like that before, was just another pull for me. It was another way of going, right, let's just see what else I can do. Is there another string to my bow? And it just felt natural, getting into the costume, getting
Mm.
that big mask on. It just felt
Well,
at
it's very
home a little
different as
bit.
well because you are playing a character in a mask. Like you can't
Mm,
rely on your facial, what you're
no.
doing with your face, your
Yeah.
features to kind of get your I don't know what you're doing across. Like, because a lot of the time it's like it's in the eyes or it's in the
Mm,
expressions, do you know what I mean? That people pull rather than
yeah.
just the words that they say, their dialogue on
Yeah.
screen. But you're in a mask, so it's very different. And do you feel like it's easier to kind of lose yourself in that character because you just, you're completely transformed?
No, I think you're absolutely right there. Yeah. Because I noticed that it allowed me to kind of concentrate on maybe my movement more.
Mm,
How would he move? How would he swing this weapon? How would he drag this person? How would he do that? But I think the mask helped you to kind of hide what's underneath,
mm,
and it allows you that freedom then just go out and do it rather than
yeah,
you're then thinking about, "Oh, what's my eyes doing? What's my mouth
yeah,
doing? Am I enjoying this too much? Am I not?"
yeah.
Yeah, the mask definitely helps it. It gives you that freedom to kind of to really, really go for it
Mm.
and just put it all out there and become this psycho killer.
Could you see what you were doing through the mask, or was your
Yeah, no,
vision
the
kind
mask.
of
No, the mask was
limited?
fine. The mask was fine. I had colored contact lenses in as well. Like,
Mm,
you see the Halloween ones online and everything.
mhm.
And I think, but I need glasses anyway. So I'm used to putting contacts in, but I couldn't put normal contacts in on top of these
Mm.
um, scary colored contact lenses. So I was kind of blind anyway. And on top of that, you've got like the halo from the color as well. So I
Yeah,
just had this like red halo, and
yeah,
I think that added to that sort of extra evil dimension to his character because I'm literally just seeing red. So it's
yeah.
allowing me to kind of get that anger. But they had normal eye holes.
Right.
So that was fine. Um, but there's no way to breathe. the only way to, I literally, there was no air holes in the
Oh,
nose,
right.
so I had to learn how to just constantly breathe through my mouth while
Yeah.
it not looking obvious that I'm breathing almost.
Yeah. So then you get really warm as well because you're not
Oh
breathing,
my God.
properly.
It was we were in a heat wave as well, so it was
Mm.
it was roasting in that mask.
Where did you shoot? Where in the country?
So we had two locations. We shot the cabin scenes were in Bournemouth, just
Hmm.
outside of Bournemouth, and then the sort of Piglet's lair scenes were at a place called Walding Woods, just
Right.
outside of Brighton.
Ah,
And that lair is the same lair for Winnie, Blood and Honey, and Blood and Honey 2 as well.
okay. So you can, there's the universe
So there's the
part.
connection almost. Yeah. Obviously, it's the same mask from the first film as well.
Mm.
Uh, but obviously, fans of both films will notice there's little areas that are
Yeah.
uh, the same location, really. So there are links between the two films, despite Piglet not necessarily being associated with it.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, there's a lot of for the eagle-eyed, there's a lot of little Easter eggs in there.
Okay. Were you ever a fan
Mm.
of Winnie the Pooh when you were a kid?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously it was one of those stories that kind of was always read to you and you always knew about him. And then obviously
Mhm.
Disney got hold of him and there was films and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Eeyore is a bit of a favorite in this house as well.
Yes.
Uh,
I
with the
remember going
younger.
on a school trip to Disneyland Paris and coming back with an Eeyore cuddly toy, which I don't have anymore. I
Mm.
don't know what happened to him. I mean, I think I had
Hmm.
Tigger as well and Piglet, but I don't know what happened to any of them. I don't
We'll
know.
have to just go back to Disneyland Paris and
Yeah,
get
it's
some
like
more.
parents just get rid of your things, don't they? Like, oh, she
They
doesn't need that
do,
anymore.
they do. Yeah, she don't want that. She don't need them
He
anymore, does
doesn't
she?
need
Come
that
on, we'll give
anymore.
those away.
Yeah. I've still got my gummy bear. I've still got my cuddly toy gummy bear. He's
Oh,
in the
have
loft.
you?
Yeah, but I was thinking the other
Ah,
day about my Care Bears, and I was like, I don't know whatever happened to that. And I'm sure I had one of my Care Bears up until like, well, definitely when I was living in London, it was in my wardrobe. I think I might have just, I think it was probably when I was thinking about moving. I was like, no, I need to get rid
yeah.
of some stuff because this is going to be a lorry full. So, yeah, I think my Care Bear is
Throwing
long gone.
sunshine. Yeah, throwing
Yeah.
Sunshine Bear away.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, it
bless
was
him.
Share Bear. It was the purple one I had.
How was it, Share Bear?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. I
okay.
recently purchased these ones. These are the Universal Monsters Care Bears collab.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
my
I
my
think
little
they're
one
probably
has
more me, to be honest, the Universal Monsters ones.
yeah. I mean, my little one has a few of those. They're doing at McDonald's at the moment, aren't they,
Yes,
with Happy Meals?
I have
So,
one.
oh
I
dear.
went and got a Happy Meal. The first Happy Meal I've had probably since I was, I don't know, about 12. But
Just for the Care Bears.
I wanted a Care Bear, yeah. That's
Yeah,
exactly
of course,
why.
and why not?
Yeah.
Funny you start mentioning about the old 80s toys and things because my parents are moving house at the minute and they were all, we've got so much of your crap here in the loft, so we'll bring it round. And I literally had, it was an 80s kid's dream. It
That's
was He-Man
amazing.
and She-Ra and
Probably
Thundercats
worth loads
and
of money now. Have you kept them all?
he got them all, put them in my
Yeah.
loft now. Yeah, Castle
Yeah.
Grayskull and everything. I mean, they're all a little bit used and a little bit beaten and battered, but with the new He-Man film coming out
Mm.
soon, you never know.
No, funny enough, we were talking about that yesterday. I was like, aren't they? I didn't, is it finished now? Is it ready to be released? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was on set again doing essay work with someone who had worked in the background
Right.
for the He-Man film. So whether it's finished filming or whether it's still going, I'm not entirely sure.
That is exciting. I mean, I did watch He-Man, but I loved She-Ra. Obviously the girl power.
She-Ra was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a lot of 80s cartoons were quite,
They were great.
an early, they were great, especially for, like you say, I mean, everyone associates girl power with the 90s and Spice Girls and
Spice
things, but
Girls.
the 80s had a lot of really great
Mm.
cartoons which kind of promoted that before. Like there was Gem. Do you remember Gem?
Gem and the Holograms. I had the video,
Yeah,
and the
so
bad
good.
girls were the misfits. So it's like
Yes,
Gem were the
yeah.
like the nice girls, and the misfits were the bad girls.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought it was great. It was a great time. I loved it.
I
I
actually
love
had
being
the
an 80s
Gem
baby.
doll. Had the gem doll, and her
Oh,
earrings we used to light up. She had like red earrings and they used to flash.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Don't know
You'll
what
have to
happened to
dig that
her.
out if you still. Oh, they've got to be somewhere.
Yeah, they've got to be somewhere. Well, they've brought back, I did notice in I think it was B&M, they've brought back Rainbow Bright, but she's like basically exactly the same. And I never had a Rainbow Bright doll. So I'm like, do I need one now? I probably don't need one now, but maybe I
No,
do.
you know, you do. You do. Of course you do. Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Treat yourself. Little 8-year-old you would appreciate it.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I'm running out of space in here though. I'm like, this is my studio. So this is where like this kind of areas, well, that area is the podcast area, but that area, the other half of that sofa is covered in clothes at the moment because I've been trying to
Yeah,
declutter and been putting everything on Vinted out of my wardrobe because I've got bags and bags and bags of stuff I don't wear.
yeah.
So and the rest of the studio is also covered in clothes. So it's a bit of a bomb site in here at the moment, which is why I'm fit on this wall. This is my tiny little space that I can kind of fit into right now.
Kind of put things on.
Yeah. So do you have like a favorite subgenre within horror? Because I'm
I
a big
think,
slasher movie fan.
yeah, I do love slashers. I love the classics with the slashers, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for example.
Hmm.
I love sort of the Rob Zombie movies and his versions of like a modern slasher as well. I'd love
Hmm.
to work with him in the future.
That was going to be a
So,
question. Is there a director you'd love to work
yeah,
with?
yeah, no, I'd love because I'm a big fan of his music and
Right.
I've kind of always wanted as soon as I started watching things like that, you know, House for a Thousand Corpses and whatever.
Hmm.
I thought, yeah, this is a bit of me. You know, this is a little bit of me. So I'd love to work with him. Yeah, so I do love slashers, but I really enjoy like a psychological horror as well. I
Hmm.
really like being made to feel scared rather than seeing, you know, the jump scares or the gore or
Hmm.
anything like that. There's something about not being able to see what you can hear and that
Hmm.
creepiness, that build up is something that I really enjoy. So yeah, probably like yourself, the slashers, but yeah, the psychological horrors as well I'm a bit of a fan of.
Yeah. And what other genres, like outside of horror, would you love to work in that you maybe haven't already?
So I know you're not a fan of comedies, but I've done comedies. I have a very
Oh,
small
I quite
role.
like doing comedy. I quite like playing
Yeah.
comedic roles, just not necessarily watching them. It's fun playing horror comedy.
Yeah, yeah. It's obviously completely different doing comedies to horror
Mm,
because you're having to try to be funny.
mm,
Whereas sometimes you can watch a horror and they are funny without trying to be funny.
mm.
And that's what I loved about like the Evil Dead trilogies, the original ones. They were hilarious, but in
I
a
liked the
good,
series. I liked Ash versus the Evil
yeah,
Dead.
yeah, it was very good. It was very good. Um, but having done comedy, like I said, I've got a very, very small non-speaking role in a few scenes in um Jimmy Carr's film Fuck 'Em All, which
Right?
is coming out in a month today, sorry, 5th of
Oh, that's
December.
exciting.
So that was obviously completely opposite to what I've done in the past,
Hmm.
and it was just so ridiculously stupid. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because I am a bit of a natural idiot. I I look for funny things in things that aren't funny, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, so to be involved in that film with the names that are in that film was very, very surreal to
Mm.
me, especially in a couple of the scenes where literally everyone is on set and you're just looking around and going, "Oh my God, look who's just walked in there!"
Who is on
And
it?
oh my, Damian Lewis is in it. Tom Felton, Emma Laird, Lily Knight, Sue Johnston, Lizzie Hockley, um, and so many other names and faces that
Mm.
you'll recognize. Proper British
Mm.
mainstays. Thomasin Mackenzie, who's from New Zealand, actually, but so many faces that we've grown up with, watching TV and films over
Mm,
here. So yeah, just being in the presence of those people was really, really inspiring to me. So to see it actually being released now, I'm looking forward to seeing that. So yes, a comedy. I'd like to do a bit more comedy, but then I've done I've done some dramas as well for short films.
mhm,
A friend of mine, Kelly, who's a very, very good. Um, she's an incredible actor herself, but she's a very, very good writer director as well. Um, and we did a short. We've worked together a few times, but we did a short film earlier on in the year, which is hopefully coming out now, which is very kind of very dramatic, very emotional.
mhm.
Again, which is another step away from what I tend to be typecast in.
Yeah.
So that's nice. But yeah, I think I'd like to do a bit more period stuff.
Mm. I think with
I'd
your
like to be
beard and stuff as well. Do you get a lot of Vikings and things? Do you get a lot
not
of
a thing, not a
No?
thing. I was
I
just about
thought
to
you'd
say I'd
be
love to.
Yeah, I thought you'd be like a shoe-in for all of that stuff because of the
I
beard.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like
No,
Vikings, Scots, like the North Southerners
yeah. I
Vikings. I'm not
mean,
sure.
well, that's it. I mean, my family kind of background is very Celtic. It's very Welsh. It's very Scottish.
Mm.
So obviously with the redness, yeah, there's Viking in there. But yeah, I would love to be a Viking. But I
Although
pen
I feel like if you're going to play a Viking, you'd probably play outside mostly, and it's very cold a lot of the time in like Viking
well,
places.
th
So, you know,
yeah, there's that. But I've got body fat, so that keeps me
I'm
warm.
someone who loves to work indoors with heating. You take
Green
a job and
screen.
you're like, why did I accept this? I'm outside all day. What's wrong with me?
We'll just work with green screen and just put a
Yeah,
fan on.
yeah.
Yeah, the no, I don't know because I think a lot of Viking stuff they're all quite furry, aren't they? So they tend to be quite warm. But I'd love anything Viking-y, that
Mm,
sort of era. I'd quite like to be a biker.
yeah, you could do that easily.
I could be a biker. We just need like a British version of Sons of Anarchy or something, and
Yes, that could
yeah, get
happen.
on that. Well, maybe we should write it.
Yes. I know the show. I haven't seen it, but I know the
Yeah,
show. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean
Uh,
British TV's gotten a lot better than, it
yeah.
used to be. Like it was Americans very showy with what they show and ours we're very good at
hmm
like this, I don't know. But I think British TV's it's getting better, you know.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know whether we probably got a lot of American influence though over here at the
Yeah.
minute because a lot of shows are being filmed over here,
Mm.
mainly because it's cheaper
Well, definitely. I
for
mean,
the companies
Amazon
to
bought the
do
old
that.
Grey Studios, didn't they? And they've got
Yeah, yeah. We're
studios
having
based in there.
yeah, Stephen Knight, who from Peaky Blinders fame, is building a big studio in Digbeth here in Birmingham as well.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that that brings more productions and more jobs to Birmingham,
Yeah.
because it would be nice. There's a lot of talent here. Just
Mm.
like your neck of the woods, there's a lot of talent um, that isn't getting used because we don't really have access to it. And again,
Mm.
maybe it comes down from the snobbery if you're not in a certain area. Um,
But I think a lot of film and stuff moved out of London. And I feel like for me, I've got sort of networks where I tend to work, and I was working a lot in Southend and Romford, and it was with the same, groups of people. But a lot of my other
mhm.
film work is all over the place. And I thought I'm living in London and it's expensive and I don't really need to be here. And I'm not
Yeah,
really one for like big crowds of people or being stuck in the middle of a city all the time. Like I want to be out where there's nature. So when I moved,
yeah,
I was like, why didn't I do this sooner? Because I can still travel to London if I have to for work. And I very rarely do
yeah,
now. I very rarely have to go back to London. But it's
yeah.
just nice, like, especially for an actor when I don't work all of the time. So my free time, I want
No.
to be somewhere that I want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so many people that always tell you that, "Oh, I want to move to London because that's where the jobs are and it's
Yeah.
easy to get to
I did
auditions and
when I was
everything." Oh,
younger.
yeah,
I did,
great.
I
Yeah,
didn't come from London, and I remember thinking, God, when I grow up, I want to move to London. I want to go to all the parties, and I did do all of
yeah.
that. But I mean, after a while, it wears thin. Like I've been to all the parties, and then I was
Yeah,
like, oh, I live in London, and I don't go to the parties now. I just stay in, and I can
yeah.
stay in anywhere.
I could stay in and be warm,
I
and I
yeah,
hate people, so
I
it's
can
great.
stay in and watch movies at home alone anywhere. So yeah,
Yeah,
moving is
and I
easy.
think that's the great thing about being in Birmingham, really, and being a Brummie, because we are literally the center of everywhere.
Yeah, it is a
And
handy place to live.
yeah, we could get anywhere within um 2 hours max.
Yeah.
So it's nice and easy to get to jobs. People are, oh my God, you've driven all that way. So yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Don't worry
I
about it.
think because England's such a small country,
Hmm.
if it's not like 20 minutes down the road, we feel like it's really far. But if you look at Americans driving to work will easily drive 2 hours to and from work each way a
Yeah,
day, and it's nothing.
yeah,
But I think we're just so small compared to other places
yeah.
that it seems like a big deal, and it's not.
Yeah, but no, it's not. And but I think if you are committed to your trade, if you're committed to this
Mm.
industry, then you will go where the work is.
Yeah,
Um, and I've said that to people in auditions in the past, like, oh, where are you based? And sometimes you lie and say you're from that area, but you go, look, I live where the work is, and
yeah.
it's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's true. It's easy to travel around. So is there
Yeah.
a franchise that you would love to work on? One that's,
Oh,
currently existing or still going, or one that has been? Because I just heard they're making another Mummy film with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, but they're kind of
hey.
ignoring the fact that they made that third film that she wasn't in, and I think they're going back to like, the recipe of them. I was like, I'd love to be in a Mummy film.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love that. To be honest, good question. I don't know because, like, but my dad being a sci-fi geek, I kind of ended up growing up watching a lot of Star Trek and sci-fi stuff
Mhm.
and things like that. So I think maybe something along those lines. But I think if we're looking in terms of horror, probably probably the Friday 13th.
Yeah,
Yeah, I based a lot of Piglet was on Jason.
right.
With his stature and his frame and the way he
Hmm.
walked and the way he carried himself and the way he stalked and attacked people. There was a lot of Jason in there. So yeah, probably that, I think.
Probably that one. And if there was a remake of something and you could play any character, who would you be?
Yeah,
Or a
it'd have to be
sequel?
Jake.
Because I'm always a bit funny about remakes. I'm not a
Yeah.
lover of a remake, but maybe a sequel if you could play like a lead character in a sequel.
Uh, I'd love to have a go as Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Jason, or even Mike Myers. Again, that boiler suit, that stature.
Mm.
There was a lot of him in Piglet as well. So there was, obviously Mike Myers, Jason, and Leatherface were the three classics that I went
Hmm.
for when playing Piglet. So
Yeah.
yeah, kind of
Did
any
you
of
have an
those
apron?
really.
Did your character have an apron?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had an
I feel
apron
like
as
the
well.
apron's kind of harnessing the leather face.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So we had the big kind of butcher gloves, the apron. We
Mm.
had the boiler suit, which was obviously very Jason and Mike
Mhm.
Myers as well. So there's a lot of nods to the greats and to the
Yeah.
classics in it.
That's
So
nice
yeah,
because you can see then that the writers and the makers of the film, you can see who they were fans of and who's
yeah,
inspired them to kind of write the roles.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And sometimes you do read reviews and you hear what fans say and it goes,
Mm.
oh, it's just a rip-off of this, it's just a rip-off of that. But most films do that anyway
Of
because
course.
Star Wars, for all intents and purposes, is just the old cowboy films from back in the day, but just in space.
Yeah.
You know,
Cowboys in
so
space.
it's cowboys in space. It's as simple as that. And even more modern films like Avatar is exactly the same. It's again, it's cowboys versus Indians, isn't it? So,
Mm,
um, there's no shame in giving a nod to your favorite films, whether
yeah.
you're a writer or an
Of course,
actor
and
trying
even
to.
if you don't realize you're doing it, your inspiration comes from the things that you've grown
Yeah,
up watching or things, whether you're realizing you're doing it or not, is going to have
yeah,
an influence there somewhere.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And as an actor, I don't mind being typecast as the bad guy, the villain,
Mm,
because I've got size, I've got strength,
yeah,
so that's kind of what I have to exploit in order to get a
yeah.
character
And
across.
it's
So
better
I
to
don't
be
mind doing that.
typecast and get work than not know where you fit and get nothing. So,
Yeah,
some people complain about being typecast, and some people complain about maybe doing horror and being typecast doing lots of horror. But if you're getting
yeah.
work, then you should not be complaining.
No, but the beauty about horror is that there's always a need for horror. People love
Yeah.
horror. People love being scared.
Mm,
The people are always scared of something. You and I might not have the same fears, but we still have fears,
mm,
and something that will scare us. So if you can exploit people's fears within a horror film, you're doing the right thing.
mm.
Um, and it's a genre that, let's face it, has been around for well over 100 years. The
Yeah.
original
Oh,
Nosferatu, for
Nosferatu.
example. Yeah, the
Mm.
original films were horrors. A
Mm,
lot of the books from back in the day were horrors. Frankenstein,
yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe stuff, and um, so people are always in need of being scared. They
Mm,
they seek it. Look at Halloween, for example. I worked scare mazes just to, for obviously to get money in, but scare people. People love it. People go out
yeah.
to be scared. They want to be scared. So the horror is something that will always be there. And you can release a horror film at any point of the year.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
not a
you're not
Christmas film.
limited
You
to
can only,
October.
yeah, exactly. So,
And I love a good
um,
Christmas horror and, good
yeah, I'd
event
love
horror.
to. I do Santa gigs as well for the kids, so yeah. So the beard will be painted in a couple of weeks, and that'll be me for a month.
That's
Um,
funny.
but I would love to do like a Santa horror.
Yeah.
Um,
I've been killed by Santa
yeah.
twice. Well, I've
Oh,
actually been
have you?
strangled by Santa twice. That's kind of a
Oh,
niche,
bloody hell.
niche death. Yeah. Once was with tinsel, and I think once was just with gloves. I can't remember the second one.
Well, you
So who
never
would
know. Maybe
your
there'll be a third.
yeah, maybe, yeah, it makes me get a trilogy. Who would your dream co-star be, dead or alive?
Not horror related. I would love to work with Gary Oldman.
Hmm. But I mean, he did do Dracula.
Yeah,
So,
he's done Dracula. But one of my favorite films growing up was a film called Leon,
right?
and I just thought he was spectacular in that. And since then, I've
Mm,
just loved everything that he's done.
yeah.
I would love to work with him. I think he's fantastic. Um, Viola Davis as well. I love her work. I think
Mm,
she's incredible. Um, but you never know. I might have already worked with the next great big thing, because there's a lot of people that we
true.
work with in our industry that are quite young and just starting out, and
Yeah.
you can see talent and you're like, oh, they're very good. So yeah, don't know.
So
Oh,
what
no,
have
of
you got?
course, yourself. I'd love to work with you.
Ah, good answer. So what have you got coming up next?
Next film is we start in 3 weeks, actually. It's a film called Season 13, written and directed by Jack Hoy and also Louis Santa, who played Tigger in the Winnie films. I've worked with Louis before in the past, and he's a great guy.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of the cast. In fact, as a cast, although we've not all worked together in the same project, we've all worked together.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's going to be an amazing experience, I think,
Mm,
just because that we all get on so well
mm,
together. We all work so well together. There's a couple of people from Piglet in that film as well.
mm.
And I think it's going to change what horror's about. It's it it's something completely different, um, with a lot of things that are very unexpected, shall we say.
No,
So season
exciting.
13, look out for it. It's going to be very, very cool. Obviously, I'll be posting it a lot on
Yeah.
um, my Insta, so you'll be able to keep an eye on that.
Hmm.
And yeah, where are we filming? I think we're filming up in Carlisle. I'm not sure. I know that's kind
Right.
of the other way from you.
Yes, it's
Um,
left.
but we're kind of that part of the world.
It's the
So
other
yeah,
end of Hadrian's Wall.
how is it? Well, just
Mhm.
find the wall and follow it down.
So, any plans for the rest of the day?
Uh, I have to do the school run pretty soon. I'll pick her up. She will make me go to the park so I can get her an ice cream, and then I'll have to take her to her piano lessons and walk the dogs.
Oh, you've got dogs too.
I've got two dogs. Yeah, I've got an English bulldog, and then we
Oh,
recently rescued a French bulldog as well. Because
oh,
earlier on in the year we lost our oldest English bulldog.
mm,
And our youngest bulldog just didn't cope. She was grieving really, really badly, and she was
hmm.
so sad. And we
She
thought
needed a friend.
she needed a friend.
So you
And
basically
now
got a dog for your dog.
yeah, yeah. And now she's wishing that we hadn't, but she's got to deal with
Oh,
it now. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. We got a dog for our dog.
I was
Yeah,
always,
but
I had dogs. I'm like, so most of my grown up life, I think since I first left home, I always had dogs. And then I lost my last
yeah,
dog in lockdown. And then I
okay.
was just like, I'm never getting another one. It was too sad. And then when I moved up here, I ended up getting cats because it's so cold up here. I thought, I don't think I can get up in the
Yeah.
winter at the crack of dawn and go outside with the dog.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah.
So we've got cats and they are easier. But I put on a lot of weight when I didn't have a dog because I'm not doing 10 walks a day.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I
So
know what you mean. Bulldogs are lazy though, so they suit
yeah,
me right down to the
yeah.
ground.
I mean, I had a pug once, and she was lazy,
Oh,
but
did you?
I had a Yorkie for like the most part, and she would up until the day like the week that she died, she showed nothing, no sign of anything wrong with her, and she was going on 10-mile hikes up until like that last
Yeah.
week. So,
Wow.
she was 13, so it was good going, and
That's
she
a
just
great
climbed
age.
climbed mountains. She was like
Wow, good girl.
an adventure dog. So, I mean,
Oh, fair
I do
play to
sometimes
her.
think, will I get another one for my hikes?
But
But
I think you will. I think you will.
some point. I don't
Um,
think the cats would like it though. And I'm a small dog person, so I feel like my cats
mm.
might be bigger than whatever dog I would end up with. I'm not
You'll end
sure.
up with a dog that's just got small dog syndrome and chasing the cats around. He might
Yeah,
grow up thinking he's a cat. You never
yeah,
know.
maybe. Well, as long as it doesn't climb the curtains. I don't, doesn't have the claws for that, I guess.
No,
Well,
no, no.
thank you so much for coming on. We are out of
Oh,
time.
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I mean, obviously we'd met before, but we didn't remember.
Apparently
But
we
I'm
have.
so
I
glad
mean, I
that
do remember
right
that
now we've.
day, but I don't remember who was
I
there. But
remember the
it
day.
wasn't a lot of
No,
people, was it? There wasn't loads of,
no. There was only about maybe eight of us, perhaps.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but it's one of those jobs where you kind of, as soon as you leave, you forget
Out the
about it.
door.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
but hey, but the universe throws you together again, and there you are. Now we know, and
Yeah.
I'll find out what the show was called, and I'll let you
Yes.
know a little later
Yeah,
on.
I've got no clue.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.